Hello, crafty friends. This is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 3 of my Cheerful Basket Bundle Workshop series here on YouTube. In the first 2 parts of this series, we created cards. I thought it would be fun to break it up and show you how to create this crafty box where you can share some crafty goodness. I'm calling this my little bucket of crafty goodness. You can put some crafts in there. I haven't done that. I haven't gone that far to put anything in the box yet, or you could use this little bag we came up with. You could put maybe some cat treats in it. So we'll do a couple little 3D projects. Very simple. I'm actually going to focus mostly on the coloring because I've done a lot of prep work for the box. We will go ahead and cut out this piece and this piece of we'll cut out this piece of basic white and the piece of designer series paper for the background using Celebrate Everything. Let me go ahead and show you where this bundle is. But then we're going to focus on mostly coloring with the Stampin' blends because that's the technique I want to teach you in this series. So here's the bundle. And the stamp sets right now are on sale for 15% off, as are the dies from the annual catalog. So you could get these items separately and save 15% on each of them. When they're together, you do save 10%. You could buy them as a bundle, but right now, until the 18th, I recommend getting them separate because that's better savings. This is the Cheerful Basket Bundle. I'd appreciate it if you shop with me. Here's my website. If you're in the U.S., of course. If you're a demonstrator, of course, you're going to get your own discount and shop for yourself. Not with me. And if you're in another country, you can't shop with me, but only in the U.S. And there's my website, paperchef.stampinup.net. There's always a host code on my website. Always. There is always a drawing for my host code drawings. I'm a few behind, but I give you prizes. I do like a drawing for those of you that use the host code. But if your order is more than $150, don't use the host code. Well, if it's more than $100, you should just join Stampin' Up, because then you get the starter kit. But if it's more than $100 and you don't want to join, then don't use the host code and earn Stampin' rewards. Okay, Stampin' rewards are really fun. When you spend $150, you get Stampin' rewards, and you can get some of this paper. This paper is pretty awesome. It's called Celebrate Everything. Look at this awesome paper. I would just use the heck out of it. I'm on my 4th or 5th pack, but that's because I did give a lot away. And those of you that ordered the Cheerful Basket kit did get this bundle, which is pretty cool. All right, so later on, because there's a lot on this little table here. So later on, we will write down the measurements. Not just yet. Okay, but for myself, I do need them to cut this. So we're going to make this little piece. We're going to get a piece of striped paper from the Celebrate Everything. It has the shaded spruce on the back. Go ahead and cut that piece. 3.5. Okay, 3.5 inches by 3 3/8. So it's like a rectangle, but it's just like an eighth. One side's an eighth inch bigger than the other side. Okay, I'll go ahead and do 2 of those only because the piece is really right here. Okay, 3 3/8. So we got 4/8. I think I might have done that one wrong. So 4/8 would be a half. So 3/8 is a little before a half. Let's see if I just did that other one right. Not even close. Okay, 3 3/8. So it was 3.5. We got that part right. Yes. 3 3/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. All right, so that's good. It's kind of good that I did it twice because it keeps me straight. So now we have those little rectangles, and now we're going to get some basic white out. We'll go ahead and cut an extra basic white piece just for the kitty that we need to stamp. But we'll go ahead and cut. So let's go ahead and cut some of these. We're going to say 3 inches. This is for the white, so we're going to have a 1/4 inch smaller than that. 2 7/8. Again, don't worry about the measurements. It's about the technique. In fact, you can color before you... This one you're going to be coloring, and you can cut out the square later around it, right? So you don't even need to... This one, we're not actually die cutting out the little bucket of crafty goodness. Or you might want to say basket of crafty goodness. 2 7/8. So bottom line is that this little rectangle is going to have... There's going to be a 1/4 inch around it. Right? 1/4 inch around this. All right, now let's go ahead and do the stamping, and this little piece we'll use for our kitty cat. so go ahead and get your piece of like your silicone mat, and we're going to go ahead and get out the little bucket, and you're going to use Memento Black ink. So go ahead and get out the bucket, and you're going to need, see, by now I've used all the stamps. I love this. Love this. So we're going to do that one in Memento Black. And then you need this little bit here, right? You need this little bit here with the little crafty goodness. Okay, and then you need the kitty cat. And if you want to jazz it up with the butterfly, you can use the butterfly too on your little tag if you want. But I didn't use the butterfly today. I'm gonna go ahead and put that stamp set over there. Well, actually, I'll just lay it here in case someone comes late and it's like, what are we doing? Where are we? What are we doing? We're doing crafty. We're doing Cheerful Basket Bundle. Okay, open up the Memento ink. Okay, now you're gonna mount the stamp by putting it flat side up. Right, so here's your photo polymer stamp. You're gonna put it flat side up like that. And you're gonna go ahead and ink it up with Memento Black. Now this one, when you have such a big stamp, and the Memento Black is bigger than the stamp pad, then I tend to ink it up this way, upside down. And I tend to use my little mat there just to make sure I have a good stamped image, which I do, before I use it on my paper. So we'll go ahead and ink that up. And we're gonna make sure the basket's kind of down the bottom and centered. And if not, flip it over. It looks pretty good to me. Okay, and if not, flip it over and do it again. You know, if you don't get a good stamped image, let's get that other piece. Put it there. Go ahead and do a bunch of these at once because it's easier to color them all at once, I think. I'm just doing a couple in case I mess it up, but then we'll have another one to go with. And I can show you more coloring that way. Okay, pretty good. Okay, now this one is done. Go ahead and put that somewhere else. The bottom basket's done. Now go ahead and put the top basket on there. Again, flat side up. Uh-oh, sticking to my kitty. Sticking to my kitty. All right, let's stick it like that. And then this one, since I'm just using a Stampin' Block D, you're going to have to get a little bit of an angle there because this one's a little bit wider. So now what I want you to do is get yourself a little scrap paper or a sticky note in case you go a little bit further down on the basket. You don't want to stamp into the basket. I'm just grabbing a little I'll just use this little scrap paper. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of going right there on the line, right? And that way, I want this to touch the line, right? Maybe a little bit down like that. I want it to touch the black line, but if I go over the black line, I don't want it to like go into the basket image. So let's do this. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just masking. And you can mask with a sticky note or a piece of paper. Okay, I got a pretty good image with the Memento Black. If your Memento Black's too juicy, you may have to wait till it's dried out a little. But mine's pretty good. Okay, I hope that matches up. Okay, pretty good. Now lift it up. Ooh la la. Oh, I love when my stamps come out good. This is it makes me happy. All right, let's go ahead and do that again. So you're gonna put that down. And of course do this with your apple basket, your crafty basket, your basket of hearts. I'll show you the other projects we've been making in this series as well. Okay, I'm tap, tap, tap on my ink. Get in there. I hold it for about 3 seconds to let the ink sort of, ooh, lovely. And if there's a tiny little gap, take your pen, if it's a black pen that is, don't use a blue pen, but if it's a black pen, and you can use your Stampin' Right marker as well. I probably should use my marker. Well, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's actually pretty good. It's actually perfect. But if you want, you can take your marker and attach any little gaps in the lines, but I think that's perfect. So the dies, unfortunately, only cut out like this section and this section separately. But when you want this all together, they don't cut out the two sections together. Of course, at that point, you could use your ScanNCut to cut them out together. But what I did is, this series here is just based on the products themselves. So what I did is I just didn't cut it out as one. I'm just leaving it like it is. And that gives you some little white space where you could put your little bling bling and make this nice rectangle as a border, etc., etc. All right, so now let's do our kitty cat, just so that part's done and I can close the ink, right? We'll just go ahead and this one's pretty good, so I don't think I want to mess with that one. Let's see what I can put the kitty on. I know we had a little scrap earlier. Here we go. We'll use this little piece and we'll go ahead and stamp the kitty. So again, stamp the kitty. So go like this. Go. Put the kitty flat side up, push down, and then tap, and then go upside down, right? Tap, tap, tap the ink. So why the blends? Because the blends, I prefer them over watercolor markers. I prefer them over regular markers. I just prefer this. I prefer the blends. Is anyone else blurry? She's asking. Let's see. Is anyone else saying? Janet, is it blurry today or is it better? I'm using a different internet connection. So Janet's been here earlier. Is it good or is it blurry? I know my camera's shaky, but that doesn't mean it's blurry. That's because my camera's shaking because I have the stand on the table with me. Okay, good. Thank you, Sydney. It's not blurry. Okay, good. Not blurry for Janet. So Tamara, go ahead and restart your device because it's probably at its maximum capacity, memory capacity or something. All right, so let's go ahead and do some blends. So I like the alcohol blends. I like using them with Memento Black ink because it's just really fun. So we're going to go ahead and do all the crumb cake parts. We'll color the kitty and we'll color the basket all at once. We're going to use a combination of blends and just really, it's really easy. And you can also, if you want, you know, use blender pens and watercolor pencils. But I just find it so much easier to use blends and they don't smear when you use this ink, right? This Memento Black ink. All right, we need some gray granite for the scissors later, so let's put that over there. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and make a big mess on my table and pull out a bunch of colors of blends. Let's put, because we're going to need them later. This is what I mean by you can use a blender pen. This blender pen will help you, right, when you just want to color right from an ink pad. So if this is all you have, if you don't want to get a bunch of blends or you can't afford them right now, get yourself one blender pen and you can color loads of stuff with it. So anyway, let's go ahead and do crumb cake and light crumb cake. So look how I did this. I put the dark on these layers on the top, line, middle, and bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and take your dark crumb cake and just color in these whole sections really easily and quickly using the thick side. And then I just made the handle a little bit lighter using the light crumb cake. Now you can blend each little section, but for this one, I'm using the blends in a different way. For the kitty, we'll blend it like dark on the outside, light on the inside. But for this little bucket, this basket they're calling it, but I like to call it my bucket of crafty goodness because that's a term I use a lot. And I had to get this set because it reminds me of what I'm talking about all the time when I talk about crafty goodness. Who wouldn't love a little basket filled like that, right? Especially as a gift. I've been to a lot of charity auctions and things like that, or like what schools put on when you buy raffles. And often the baskets look like this with lots of school supplies. And the teachers go crazy with school supplies in the basket. So anyway, I'm just using the dark section. There's a brush tip and there's a fine tip on each blend. And so I'm using the brush tip side. And it does ooze through the paper, so I hope I'm not getting on the paper beneath, but I just want to make sure that I'm in the camera view. So I'm going to put that up there so it doesn't get, I don't want the alcohol marker. See what I mean? It goes through the paper like that. I don't want it to go onto my other paper. All right. So while we have the crumb cake out, we'll go ahead and we'll do the kitty at once after I do the light part, because I don't want the black to dry. I have a couple sets of these. Let's get rid of one of these. All right. Now we're going to use light crumb cake. Light crumb cake for the handle. Go ahead and use the brush side because we're doing these big, thick parts. Right? Super easy. Look how easy it is to color this basket. Now, if you're going to be die cutting your basket, just use crumb cake cardstock, and you did get some in your kit because I sent you some crumb cake cardstock and even some retired colors, which would work too. Like I think I gave you some creamy caramel. Just gave you a lot of stuff to die cut baskets with. You have a lot of, you always have a lot of extra stuff in your kits. That's how my kits are different. I always give you like extra so you can, we can cut the paper of what we're doing here, and then you can also make extra stuff when you're all done making the projects we do. All right, so that's all the crumb cake on the basket part. Okay, and I don't think I have any crumb cake. Let me look around. There's no crumb cake on the top part, only on the bottom of the basket. So we're good. Now we're going to do the kitty. So go ahead and get that dark crumb cake out again. This time we'll blend in a way that I would say is more typical of the blending process, where you use dark on the outside and light on the inside. So go ahead and use the smaller tip because it's a smaller kitty, and just go around the whole thing with your dark blend in the top of its tail, and then go ahead and do all those, do the little paws dark, or do one of them, or all of them in dark, and then around here like this, all up the side, the ears, the head, and then go ahead and do all the little stripes like this. This is how I did it. I'm just kind of reinforcing the little stripes. Don't worry, we use light next. I know it looks like a hot mess. You're like, okay, but you do is you then take your light blend, and you can take the brush tip now because we're in the middle, and just do circular motions. Pull, don't do the eyes, just do circular motions. And you're blending the dark with the light. And of course, as it dries, it looks better. And the more you go over it, the more it blends in. But you got to do it while it's wet. You can't like color all your dark parts, watch a Netflix series, right? And then come back, because all the dark parts will be really dried in there. You want to get them while they're wet so they blend better. Okay, cute little kitty, blended with two colors. Of course, you could use gray granite, light and dark. Go ahead and get the color lifter and lighten his face a little bit if you want. Then take the dark pool party and color in his eyes. If you want them to have little pool party eyes, you don't have to, but I think it looks kind of cute. I did, but then when I put Wink Estella on it, it sort of came off. Look how it kind of blends together better over time. I'm tying in the pool party ribbon with pool party around here and pool party in his eyes. I'm tying in the crumb cake color of the kitty with the bag itself. You see how I'm trying to tie in the different colors. I always have a purpose for what I'm doing. Now for this basket of crafty goodness that we're about to color, you don't need to use every single color in the paper. It might not look right for the types of things like, I wanted like this color here, gray granite, right? I'm going to use light gray granite for the scissors. Well, there's no light gray granite in the Celebrate Everything paper, but scissors look really good like in a silver or gray color. So that's how I'm doing it. So neutral colors don't matter. They match everything. So that's how you can tie in. And then when you are going to use gray granite, you might want to use it on another part. Like maybe randomly over here on this part of the pen, you could put it over there. Or maybe one of the bottles could be, maybe one of the bottle tops are, the bottles are gray or something. I don't know. Just for example. So I'm just going to just do the scissors. So think about trying to tie, when you have a big scene like this, trying to tie the colors together. Like one little part of another piece of the image can have this color in it. So like here, we'll do the cap this time, this part out here. Okay, so that's good. I'm done with the gray granite. Now, let's get some colors that are in your paper. We know that Poppy Parade's in your paper. I like to use the light Poppy Parade because the light Poppy Parade is, I'm just going to make this one the ink color. is just a little bit better than the dark. For such a scene, the dark colors kind of cover your lines. So I'm just going to use a little poppy braid there. And then I'll do a little piece of ribbon over here, maybe. And then for this one, I'll put the pen cap in poppy braid. Okay, and what I'll just a little piece of ribbon as well. All right, let's do some Granny Apple Green. That is a color that's in your paper. So Granny Apple Green ties in. So let's do light Granny Apple Green. We'll do some ribbon. Now these sections I think are too small to be blending two colors in one section, in my opinion. Okay, and for this one I'll do this little bottle of ink over here. There's no right or wrong way. And let's tie in something else. We'll do this. We'll do the pen cap. And we'll do this little piece of paper off to the side, because there's two pieces of paper. All right, and for this one we'll do this pen, since we did the ribbon. We'll do the pen. Okay, another color that is in your... Now this one you can use darker light because it's already a light. Like this, see what I'm doing? This is, I use a little Pool Party in the ink. This is dark Pool Party, right? But it's okay because Pool Party is a light color. So we can go ahead and use some Pool Party in both of these. So let's see, what could we do? We could do the ribbon in Pool Party. Possibly, right? And then something else on the other one. Then we'll see which one we like better. Okay, and then for this one, you got, looks like we have a little journal. We'll do the little journal. The edge of the journal in Pool Party. Okay, we'll do this pencil in Pool Party. And we need something else here. We'll do this little piece of paper over here. Okay, maybe even this little bottle. The label for the bottle. And the little... I think I like the little cap being colored. I'm going to put that color there. And I'm going to take light Pool Party. I'm going to color the rest of this bottle over here. It gives you a little bit, oops, but I used the small side. It gives you a little bit of shading color, but without. Okay. Okay, I better color that one a different color. A little bit on the cap. All right, so now that I've tied in the colors from this paper, right? I've got the Pool Party tied in. All right, I don't know if I'm still live streaming. I'm going to keep on coloring to see if I'm still live streaming, because it looks like with my connection this one out. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the light So Saffron. Oh, good. Hi, Kim. I'm saying hi, Kim. That's Yvette. Hi, Yvette. Why am I saying hi, Kim? You said hi to me. Oh, my stream went off because my internet's so slow. Sorry, guys. So hopefully my stream is back up. Yvette said hi, so I hope the rest of you guys got back on. So thank you for your patience. What I'm doing is I haven't got much done. All I've done was some So Saffron color. Blurry here now. You cut in and out. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is try to finish the stream, even if I'm cutting in and out, because I'll finish the coloring, maybe not the whole stream. I can come back on and do the box. Using So Saffron. And a little bit of pale papaya. As long as you tie in a few colors from your paper, you should be okay. I'm going to go ahead and use some polished pink, because the polished pink is definitely in the paper. Let's see what I could use. I could use some polished pink on this pen here. I'll use polish for the eraser over here. What else could I tie in with polished pink? We'll use it on this little part. Yeah, so that one wasn't Flirty Flamingo. The color was polished pink. I'm going to go ahead and use... Oops. This is a little bit light. One really hard thing about being a YouTuber is always, like, if you're traveling a lot or moving a lot or trying different spots. No. It's done. It looks cute. Can you see that, or is it blurry? Blurry. If it should be auto-focusing is what it should be doing. Like, as I pull this, when I pull this in, it should focus. That's very cute. Can you see that, Lala's Crafts? Like, does it focus when I pull it in and then refocus when it's down there? That's what it should do. And if it's only focused up here and my whole thing's blurry, I'm going to have to cut off the whole stream and start all over. Another day. I'm just trying to finish that last little bit. I think I'm going to use a little clear but free. Okay, well, what you can do is if you do a replay of the stream, it should, because what it's doing is it's having hard upload speed. So if it's freezing a lot, then it'll be better on the replay. And I'm not able to change my internet connection while the is on. I tried to change it, and it won't let me change my internet connection. I'm just using a couple colors over again. I have to mix a couple together. All right, so you get the idea. I'm going to mix these two together so they're not right next to each other. It's the same color. Okay, she's saying it's clear when I'm close to the camera, a tad blurry when I'm coloring. So what I'm going to do is zoom in and see if you can see that. So I'm all done, and I'm all done except for that little part. I think I might use a little bit of some kind of yellow over there, like a little bit of So Saffron on this little bottle of ink. And then we have our bucket of crafty goodness. And then I can go ahead and use Wink of Stella. So Wink of Stella is what I would do. It says, she said, Janet's saying it's clear when I'm close to the camera. So what I'm going to do is just try to stay a little closer to the camera and be clear. It's very hard. It's like I want to share everything I'm doing, but it's very, very difficult. That's why some days I just can't even get on here, because if I get on here, it's hard. I'm using a different internet connection than I was using yesterday when you guys said it was blurry. And I told the other one not to auto reconnect, so it couldn't use the other one. So see, you use some Wink Stella, and you make it nice and shiny, and you can do that to both. Get some glitter on. Get your glitter on. It really looks good on your... Let's try the ribbons. I'm not used to coloring while things are up in the air, but this hopefully will be in more focus. Okay, so you have this little Wink of Stella all over there, giving it some glittery. And the kitty, I usually don't die cut the kitty after I've colored it. I usually die cut it before in case I mess up on the coloring. But we'll go ahead and put Wink of Stella on the kitty too, for the bag. All right, so now, and then hopefully that was more in focus, and I zoom back out. Let me get rid of these markers because they're taking up my whole table. I'm all done with all these markers and the Wink of Stella. And now that's all that's left is we're going to do the Inspired by You. I get great joy in coloring. I just do all the coloring at once, and I get, cut everything out. Wink of Stella we're done with the blender pen. So the only thing left is go ahead and get Inspired by You, which I've already mounted onto a black. I mean, not onto a black, onto a block, not black. It's onto a block. Okay, let's go ahead and put a little bit of ink around the edge before I put the sentiment on them. I should have another one over there. Here's the square. So you need a square, stylish shaped die, and you need a circle stylish shaped die. You're going to go ahead and get your pool party ink. Open up the pool party ink. Put some on the back of a stamping block like so, like that. Go ahead and get your blending brush and tap, tap, tap. And stylish shape dies that I've already cut out for you, and they're in your kit. Now, if you don't, I'm just tapping onto the mat before the edges. Also in your kit was a sponge dauber. So if you don't have a blending brush, use the sponge dauber I included in your kit. It was in with the linen thread. And also while you're there, get out your rhinestones because I included those in your kit because we're going to be blinging this project. That makes a big difference when you use the pool party around the edges than if you just leave it by itself around, especially when you're going to be putting like a white piece on another white piece. Anyway, if the stream is blurry for you, because my upload speed is so low, then what you could do is when you watch the replay, it should be faster because YouTube usually tends to fix my videos for me. And especially my early years when I couldn't even go live because I wasn't even allowed to go live. But even when I first started, it was very slow and they made it, the replays were always better after it's like, everything gets put up there and put back together. It's like Humpty Dumpty. YouTube puts it all back together again. It comes up in bits and bytes, and then YouTube puts it all back together again. I'm just doing inspired by you. Tap, tap, tap. Stamp. Just mount it onto a stamping block. Inspired by you. Tap, tap, tap. Stamp. So we're going to use the square one on the basket project, and you're going to use the round one on the little bag project. You have a little bag in your kit. All I want you to do is die cut your cat. And I don't want to do that right now only because the really bad connection. You're going to die cut your cat, and you're going to use the oval I gave you, and you're going to put your cat on the bag. Using the bag I gave you. If you want to know where these bags came from, they are from the add-on for the paper pumpkin for the month of November. Or could it be December? No, I think it's November. November add-on kit. From the North Pole, you can get these bags. They were only like $4, I believe, for the add-on. And so thank you, Kathy, for these bags. She brought those to my house because I forgot to order them. And we came up with this. She said, why don't we just make a cat treat bag? And just cut a little hole with the hole puncher. I used this frame because they had some extra frames. Her and Susan had cut some extra frames for me out of new fitting florets, or the florets, something, forget what that's called, but the florets dies. I put one of them in your kit, and you just put some bling on your bag, and that's how you make that project. Super simple. Okay, for this one, let's go ahead and just finish this one off. I'm going to use the rest of that ink up later. So I've already cut the paper, and I'm just going to go ahead and mount these with the adhesive. All right. You're just going to take, one side is like probably a little bit taller than the other. So you're just going to check that out. So go like that and go, double check. You should have a clear 1/4 inch margin around all sides. So you see how if you put it there, it doesn't look right? Then you know that your rectangle isn't the right way. So go ahead and make sure that these are facing the right way, because remember, one side was a little bit smaller than the other side. I'm just using Seal Plus. Okay, last thing, I'm going to do measurements for you. I just want to show you how I mount this. So I'm just using Seal Plus, and this is going to be on top of our box with the Inspired by You, putting it right there on the corner, and you're going to pop up Inspired by You with dimensionals. But because you have white touching white, that's why you needed the edge there. That's why you needed the little bit of the pool party on the edge. So I'm just using a couple dimensionals. We'll do one on this little guy. Put it right out to the corner, like so, and put one on here for the back of your bag. Oops, maybe it's a little lopsided. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now for the box, I've already cut the pieces, and I'm going to write them down for you. Okay, I may have to write them in the description. We'll see how much longer my stream holds. YouTube is doing a good job. It's holding my... I don't want to frustrate anybody. All right. We have to be happy crafters today. Hello, Janet. Glad you're spending the day with me. And Sydney, Lala's Crafts. And Gems 963. Glad you have a ScanNCut. I do a lot of ScanNCut videos too. Hello, Tamara. Yep. And, yep, I know about that. All the internet connection issues. Yes, yes, yes. I see it. Hello, Kay. A glue pen on the ScanNCut. No, I haven't used a glue pen on the ScanNCut. But you can use the attachment and use a glue pen on the ScanNCut. That would be for... I've used the glue pens, though. No, you know what? I may have used the glue pen. I think I bought one last year. I did buy one, but it wasn't the Brother brand. And it wasn't like anything that I really got thrilled about. So I didn't keep using it because it didn't put glue evenly over everything. But, okay, good. And you changed pixels. Good. Hello, Yvette. All right, so now I hope you're back, and I hope I'm not talking to myself. So let me just finish. Hello, Jade. All right, what I want to do is just show you what we made in part 1. This is part 3, right? So I want to show you what we made and just some little bling. You're going to use the rhinestones that came in your kit that I gave you. And that's what these are called, rhinestone basic jewels. You put a few rhinestones on each of your projects, and boom, we're done. Okay, measurements will be in the description of this video right after I go off. Okay, I'll just show you in part 1. We created these heart cards. Really fun. Little basket of hearts. And of course, I used the wrong Winkostella. I used some white Winkostella instead of clear Winkostella. So my hearts came out with a tinge of white on them. But it's a Get Well card. And we used the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. Extra hearts. We die cut. We used gingham, black and white ribbon. Then in part 2, we used the blends again. Poppy prayed, made cute apples. We made these cards with the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper, fall cards. Similar to what we just did now, inspired by you. There's only 3 sentiments, so we're going to be reusing the sentiments in this section. Then for my bingo that I'm doing tomorrow night with my VIPs, we're making these, and also one with using Design a Daydream that Linda designed a card for. So these are almost the same exact card, believe it or not, with very similar measurements for the backgrounds and these stripes, and then these little parts in the middle are a little bit different. But we're going to be coloring and doing that during bingo, and there'll be lots of bundles and prizes, and it's like great program. And then this is something I made in part 2. So there's some Cheerful Baskets projects for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for sticking with me. Go ahead and die cut out the kitty and check back on the description of the video for the measurements for that box and for the card. I mean, not card, for the top of the box. And for this one, you don't need measurements because we're just using some existing products. But I will give you the measurements for the top and side and bottom of the box. That's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great day.